So today we're going to talk about curiosity and staying curious and why it's important that we stay curious. I'm going to start just with the basic question of like, what is curiosity to you? How would you define curiosity? And Sharon, I'll kick off with you.
Oh, I knew that. Like, I was so attracted to this topic, James. The opportunity to kind of be on with Martin, but also because I guess I consider myself a curious person. Somebody who's really interested in curiosity. And so for me, there's a link between curiosity and lifelong learning, which is a massive passion of mine. But I did have to I kind of thought maybe I should look at this up from a non-personal point of view and think about what it actually means from a like a definition point of view. So I was very relieved when I did that as some prep and realized that the things that I associate with curiosity are all there, like they was talking about quality exploration, that there's learning, there's something about inquisitiveness and thinking and investigation, all of which I would say I kind of naturally kind of attract me to it. And the thing that I also noticed was one of the questions when you do coach training, you're always told to avoid the why question. But for me, because it can be defensive, it can provoke all sorts of reactions and so on. But for me, curiosity is about that kind of little childlike part of me that keeps going, why is that like that? And why are we doing that? And, being that like, why kind of thing, even if I don't necessarily say it. So that's what curiosity means for me.
What about for you, Martin? And do you think, and I'll give you a second question to go with it, which is, do you think curiosity is an innate trait, or do you think it's something that needs to be developed and maintained?
Oh, that's deep. Oh, I'll tackle part one. I'll come back to part two. So it's interesting that you said that, Sharon, because one of the things I wrote on my notes was for something we're going to talk about later, the why do we do that? And my mum said when I was a child, if someone explains something to me and then this happens, I'd always go, well, why? I needed to know. If you think about a kind of a watch and the mechanisms behind it, I always needed to know the workings of something to then almost accept what the person had told me. I needed to know how it worked, to understand that it worked. And I think for me, we can go down two routes with this. It's either, and we'll probably get into this later on, there's the concept of curious, being nosy, or there's the route of continuous learning, thirst for knowledge. That's the route that I think being curious is. If you do it in the right, if you're nosy, you're just nosy. But I think for me, that's the route that when we're talking about it in this narrative, is the concept that we should be looking at. It's that continuous wanting to know more,